Hello again, grade 12, and welcome to week 6 of our online class. So for week 6, our topic will be about the marketing plan. Okay, let's move on to the learning objectives. So at the end of the lesson, you must be able to, number 1, recognize the importance of marketing mix in the development of the marketing strategy. Number 2, describe the marketing mix, which is the 7 P's, in relation to the business opportunity. So the 7 P's are, the first one is product, place, price, promotion, people, packaging, and then last one will be the position. And then the last one, so the last part of our topic will be about the development of a brand name. Okay, so let's have the definition of business plan. So business plan is a comprehensive paper that details the situation analysis, objectives, strategies, and tactics on how to monitor and control the enterprise. Okay, so in making a business plan, you must put all your effort because that will be the backbone of your business. So you must include the strategies on how are you going to sell your product. So what will be the price, who will be your people or your employees, how many employees are you going to hire, and everything about your business. Okay. So in this module, you will understand the customers, the 7 P's of marketing mix, so that will be the marketing mix, and then the brand management. Okay. So let's move on to value proposition and then unique selling proposition. So let's have marketing process. So in marketing process, you must first identify the customer's needs. So what are the needs of your customers? For example, in terms of food, every one of us can be a customer because every one of us needs food. So therefore, examples of needs are food, water, shelter, and clothes. Okay. And the number 2, you need to study what the customers want or desire. For example, okay, so in number 1, I want, or all of us, we need food in our life. But in number 2, for example, if you're going to sell me food in which I don't eat, so therefore I will not buy it. And for example, my favorite color is green, and then I just don't like color pink. So if you're going to sell products that is color pink, so therefore I'm not going to buy it. So therefore, you need to study the wants of your customers because every customer have their own wants or desire. Okay, so again, identify the customer's needs, and then number 2, study what the customers want or desire because we have different preferences. Okay, so that's why you're going to study your customers. Okay, so let's move on to value proposition or the VP. So the value proposition, it simply states why a customer should buy a certain product or service. So it is a tagline wherein if your customers will read that tagline or your value proposition, they will know why they would buy a certain product or why they will avail your certain service. Okay, so again, it simply states why a customer should buy a certain product or avail your service. So let's have the helpful tips in order for us to make an effective value proposition. Number 1, prepare a situation analysis that details the problems of the customers. Number 2, make your value proposition straight to the point, simple and specific. In short, there should be no complications. Your value proposition has to target your major objective. Okay, so you cannot have value proposition like an essay. Okay, so your value proposition must be short, but concise. It must be brief. Okay, so it must be just like a one-liner. For example, a phrase. So you cannot have a sentence in a value proposition. So the shorter, the better. Okay. Next one, highlight the value of your product or service so that customers will easily get what benefits you can provide. So it is better if you're going to put or highlight your product. For example, your product is coffee. You must put something about coffee. Okay, so next one, adapt the language of your market. Okay, for example, if you're going to sell your product in the Philippines. So it will be better if you're going to use Filipino as the language of your value proposition. Okay. But if, for example, if your business will be about Korea, so it's okay if you're going to use Korean language as your value proposition, but make sure to put translation below your value proposition. But translation under your value proposition if there will be some space. So there's still space. Okay. So again, adapt the language of your market. Okay. So next one. Add credibility enhancing elements such as actual testimonials from customers, partners, and other stakeholders, putting specific assurance elements and social acceptability metrics found in social media or press materials. So it will be better if you will put enhancing elements. So next one. Differentiate your value proposition with your competitors. Okay. So you must put you must include words that will differentiate you with your other competitors. Okay, so you need to have an originality. So you just need to differentiate your value proposition within your competitors. Because you have the same product, so that's why you need to differentiate your value proposition. For example, I have here a sari-sari store. So if you're going to be the owner of a sari-sari store, what will be a good value proposition? So let's have the example of Aling Tere Sari-Sari Store. So Aling Tere decided to have a value proposition. So this will be the value proposition of Aling Tere. So tindahang maaasahan bukas kahit anong oras. So this will be the value proposition of Aling Tere. So since Aling Tere is from the Philippines and she is from the region in which they use Tagalog, so she used Tagalog as the language. So that's why it is a good thing. And then she said, tindahang maaasahan. So this will be open 24 hours. So that's why her sari-sari store is will be a good sari-sari store within her community because it will be available during the whole day. Okay, so again, tindahang maaasahan bukas kahit anong oras. Okay, and then the other one will be about the unique selling proposition. So, in the value proposition, why customers will buy your product. And then, for the USP or the unique selling proposition, the question is, how can you sell your product? Okay, so this will be the definition of unique selling proposition. It refers on how you will sell the product or service. Again, when we say VP, why would customers should buy your product? And then unique selling proposition, how are you going to sell your product to your customers? Okay, so let's have the tips on how to make an effective unique selling proposition. Number one is to identify and rank the uniqueness of the product or service attribute. Number two, be very specific. Like your value proposition, it must be very specific as well. And then, number three, so you need to use keys, which is keep it short and simple. So again, it will be better if it will be shorter. So the shorter, the better. But it must be specific. Okay. So let's have the unique selling proposition or the value proposition of some businesses. So your value proposition and then your unique selling proposition can be as one. So you can write it as one. So like Aling Tere, she just used one for unique selling proposition and then for the value proposition. Like this business. So Mercury Drug. So for Mercury Drug, the value proposition or the unique selling proposition is nakasisiguro gamot ay laging bago. So this will be their value proposition. And then for video, it will be we find ways. Next one. So for Joy, it will be isang patak, di isang katutak. And then for Chooks to Go, so their value proposition or unique selling proposition, masarap kahit walang sauce. Okay, so that will be the examples of unique selling proposition and value proposition. So make your own VP and USP. So that will be your activity for today. So the next part of our topic will be about knowing your customers. So we have the so-called marketing research. So in marketing research, you need to study your customers. So we need to have different ways, or we can use different ways on how to research within our customers. So it is a comprehensive process of understanding the customers' intricacies and industry they revolve in. So let's have the market size. When we say market size, it is the size of the arena where the entrepreneurs will be. Okay, the size of the arena where the entrepreneur's business will be. So for example, your place will be Santa Maria. So market size will be the whole vicinity of Santa Maria. And then let's have another definition of term. We have the so-called market space or the market universe. Approximate number of customers that will buy the product or avail the service. For example, we have in market size, it will be 100% of the people around your chosen area. For example, Santa Maria. So all of the people around Santa Maria will be your market size. But in terms of market share, how many among the whole population of Santa Maria is going to buy your product? For example, your product is milk tea. So market size, population of Santa Maria, but in terms of market space, it will be like this. So how many people will drink milk tea? Okay, or how many among Santa Maria netizens drink milk tea? So for example, out of 100, for example, out of 100 people around Santa Maria, 60 will drink milk tea. So therefore, your market space will be 60. Okay, and then the last one is the so-called market share. So in terms of market share, it is a percentage in which how many percent of the market space will buy your certain product. For example, there are 5 milk tea shops around Santa Maria, and then you are one of them. So you need to think of the percentage that will be your market share within the market space around Santa Maria. So again, market size is the whole population of Santa Maria, for example. Market space, how many among Santa Maria netizens will buy your product? And then market share, among the citizens of Santa Maria who drink milk tea, how many percent will buy your product or your milk tea? So that will be the market share. So the percentage of the customers that will buy your milk tea, for example. And then the last one will be about direct competitor and then indirect competitor. So when we say direct competitor, you have the same product as that business. For example, your product is rice, and then the only product of your competitor is also rice. So rice and then rice. And then for the next one, for indirect competitor, it will be like this. It is not similarly structured. For example, in terms of rice, I am a rice retailer, and then my indirect competitor will be grocery stores, because grocery stores also sell rice. So that's why they are my indirect competitors. Okay, so again, it will be direct if you have the same product. If it's rice, it's just rice. So rice and then another rice retailing store will be your direct competitor. And then for indirect, it will be like grocery store and rice retailing store. Because in terms of product, there are rice within grocery stores. So, but it is not directly as your competitor. Again, direct, same product, and then indirect, not similarly structured. Okay. So that's all for this video, grade 12, and see you on the next part of our video for the marketing plan.